Hello my students, 4th grade, how are you today? Welcome again in Hadi Mohammad schools. Today's lesson is writing, and you need to open your pupils book page 104 and your workbook page 88 and 89. And we have an outcome for today, write a poem. My students, please open your pupils book page 104. Lesson 7, writing. As you can see here, my students, we have explanation. Let us read it. When you repeat the same sound at the beginning of two or more words in a line, it's called alliteration. Alliteration. Alliteration بمعنى الجناس، وهو تكرار الصوت نفسه في بداية كلمتان أو أكثر من نفس السطر. Let us read this explanation again. When you repeat the same sound, عندما نكرر نفس الصوت at the beginning of two or more words in a line في بداية كلمتان أو أكثر من السطر نفسه، هذا ما يسمى alliteration وهو الجناس. Now let's see the first activity. Look at poem 1 from page 98 below. Underline the repeated sound. Look at this line, the first line, my students. Here we have a small seed sitting in the soil. Look at the first sound for these words. Here we have small, seed, sitting, and soil. So here we have the same sound, which is S. A small seed sitting in the soil. Look at the beginning for these four words. The beginning of these four words is sound S. Small, seed, sitting, soil. Now let's see the next line. Waiting for water and warmth. Like at the beginning here, we have waiting, water, and warmth. So here we have also the same sound in these three words. Waiting, water, warmth. Waiting, water, and warmth. Now let's move to the next line. Of the slow, strong sun. Slow, strong sun. Slow, strong sun. So these, we have three words, begin with sound S. Slow, strong, and sun. Now move to the fourth line. To grow green in the glittering grass. Grow, green, glittering, and the last word is grass. Grow green, glittering grass. Now let us repeat all these lines again. The first line, we have four words that began with sound S. Small seed sitting in the soil. The next line, waiting for water and warmth. The third line, of the slow, strong sun. And the last line, to grow green in the glittering grass. That we call alliteration, وهو تكرار الصوت نفسه في كلمتان أو أكثر من نفس السطر. Now move to the second activity. Which words start with the same sound? Number them into groups. Now look at the first word here. We have running that begin with R. Sound like R. Now let us find another words that begin with sound like R. Rocks. Here we have rocks. And here we have another word which is round. Running, rocks, round. Here we have the same sound in these three words, so we have to number them in number 1. Now let's see number 2. Here we have orange. Oh, orange. Here, now let's find other words that begin with sound like O, and we have to number them into number 2. Orange, and here we have another word that begin with sound like O, which is orangutans. So we have to write here number 2, and orange, orangutans. Now let's move to the third sound that begin with tigers. Tigers. Let's find another words that begin with sound like it. Tigers. Here we have 2. And we have another one here which is talking. And the last one which is tinny. So we have 4 words which are tiger, 2, talking, tinny. Tiger, 2, talking, and tinny. Now let's move to number 4. Here we have small. Small. We have other words that begin with sound S, small, and snake. Also here we have another one which is sleeping. So we have 3 words which are small, sleeping, and snake. So we have to write number 4 next to them. And here we have elephant, elephant, exercising, and exciting. Elephant, exercising, and exciting. Now let us read the words again. Words with number 1, running, rocks, round. Words with number 2, orange, orangutans. Words with number 3, tiger, 2, talking, and tinny. Words with number 4, we have small, sleeping, and snake. Words with number 5, we have elephant, exercising, and exciting. That we call alliteration words. كلمات لها نفس الصوت في البداية وهو الجناس. Exercise number 3. Write a poem with alliteration. Use the picture to help you. As you can see, my students, we have here a picture with animals and we have to write a poem with alliteration. يجب أن نكتب قصيدة باستخدام صيغة الجناس وهي تكرار نفس الصوت في كل سطر لكلمتان أو أكثر. Let's start. Down in the forest, we'll see. As you can see here, we have letter O, and we have to use words with O that begin with sound O. For example, we can say orange, orangutans. Also, words begin with sound like R. For example, we can say running round red rocks. Running round red rocks. Also here we have letter E, so we have to choose words that begin with sound like E. For example, we can say excited elephant exercising everywhere. Excited elephant exercising everywhere. Now we have to write words that begin with sound like S. For example, small snake. Look at these small snakes sleeping in the sun. And we have to end with words that began with sound like it. For example, and two tiny talking tigers. So my students, in this activity we used two and more words with the same sound in each line. For example, the first line, as you can see here, we have orange, orangutans, running, brown, red rocks, excited, elephants, exercising everywhere, small snakes sleeping in the sun, and two tiny talking tigers. That we call alliteration words. Now move to activities in your workbook. My students, open your workbooks, page 88. Exercise number 1. Alliteration is using the same sound at the beginning of two or more words in a line. Circle the letters to show the alliteration. As you can see here, my students, we have 4 lines and we have to circle alliteration words. Look at the first one. Here we have the lovely ladybird. So we have to circle words that begin with sound like L, lovely, ladybird. Here we have lived in a lemon. Here we have lemon. A tree near the lake. Also here we have lake. Number 2, the farmer takes a funny photo of Philip the fox. So as you can see, we have repeated sound like F, farmer, funny, photo, Philip, and here we have fox. So this is the repeated sound. Number 3, 6 cyclists sitting in the summer sunshine in the city square. As you can see here, we have the repeated sound, which is S, 6 cyclists sitting, summer, sunshine, city, and square. Number 4, the caterpillar caught a cold and called the chemist. So as you can see in this line, the repeated sound is ek, caterpillar, caught, cold. Also here we have cold and chemist. So this is the repeated sound. Now move to activity number 2. Add some words to these phrases using alliteration. Number 1, a beautiful black bird sitting on. Here we have to complete word that begin with sound like ib. Beautiful black bird, and we have to choose a word that begin with a sound like ib. For example, we can complete with a brown soil, a beautiful black bird sitting on a brown soil. Number 2, friends taking funny photos on. As you can see here, the repeated sound is F, friends, funny, photos. And we have to complete with words by using words that begin with sound F. So, for example, we can complete with the farm, friends taking funny photos on the farm. Number 3, people picking plants and potatoes. Here we used words that begin with sound like F. Now move to activity number 3. Make notes using your own ideas from a poem called Life in the Future. As you can see here, we have a table and we have to complete this table with information. For example, information about school. My ideas about the future. For example, you can say, I think school will be more fun than now. We'll use photos or tablets all the time. And we have to rewrite these ideas by using alliteration words. For example, we can say smiling school children studying on their shiny screens. We have smiling school children studying, and here we have screens. Now move to the next one about houses. My ideas about the future for houses. I think houses will be made of glass. Robots will do all the housework and cooking. Now we have to rewrite this idea by using alliteration words, so we can say glittering glass houses with robots running around cleaning and cooking. So here we have glittering glass, and here we have also in the next line robots running around, and also we have cleaning and cooking. My students, now we have to complete this activity by using ideas about the future for cities, technology, clothes, food, plants, and animals, also transport. And we have to rewrite these ideas by using alliteration words in the next column. Dear students, try to write your own ideas by using alliteration words, then move to the next activity. Now in the fourth activity, write a poem, Life in the Future. What will the future be like? Will it be good? My students, here in this activity, we have to write the previous alliteration words about the future life. We have to write them here. For example, we can say, in the future, smiling school children studying on their shiny screens, glittering glass houses with robots running around cleaning and cooking. Now, my students, you have to complete ideas about cities, technologies, clothes, food, plants and animals, and transport by using alliteration words. Try to complete this activity, my student, and don't forget to send it for me. That's all for today. Thank you very much. See you next class. Goodbye.